away, look for something low. But again, very complete pitcher herself. A lot of experience, really good leadership, but it's that heavy drop ball mixed in with the rise ball that gives her really good vertical separation. Tough to hit off of.
Really strong lineup for Texas A&M. Their team OPS is currently over 1,000. Mac Barbara, a big reason why. She has an RBI in 7 of their 8 games with 3 home runs for the transfer from San Diego State. Shout out to our head coaches, Kenny Gajewski, Tricia Ford. Give the people what they want. Our All-American pitching duel today with 2 of the top hitting teams in the country as well. Coco Woolley, the shortstop, to lead things off. 5 for 7 here in Clearwater with 3 extra base hits. So not just speed at the top of the lineup, but some pop in that bat for the senior from LaPorte, Texas. Aggies are averaging nearly 9 runs per game through the first couple of weeks of the season.
Really talented team for Texas A&M. Great leadership. And how about, they've got some fabulous freshmen we're going to see here today as well. KK Demmett, second base. It's fun to watch.
Frankie Rosel in the outfield. And slapped foul. This was a team that pushed Texas to the brink last year in the Super Regionals. Lost it in 3 games. Texas went on to play for the national championship. A&M hoping that they will be in Oklahoma City at the end of this year. A lot of confidence. And they will certainly be tested throughout the SEC regular season.
It's interesting because Tricia Ford, you know, one of the things she was telling us coming into the season was like, hey, we've got the pitching. That's something we're going to lean on. The offense is what needs to get going. And it's been the reverse. It's been the offense that's carried them.
A swing and a miss, and Malin gets the strikeout of Woolley, 1 down.
Well, one of the things you're going to see from Malin has a lot of energy. That leadership just carries over to the rest of the team. This is a drop ball in the inner half, just really good location, obviously good velocity, up near almost 70 miles an hour, and that over-the-top rotation makes that ball drop down. First strikeout of the game for Malin.
Over 50% rise on the season, about 37% with a drop ball and the occasional changeup. Had a win yesterday against Kentucky. And here is Kennedy Powell, who starts out the season with an 8-game hitting streak. Has scored 3 times already in this tournament in their first couple of games. Off to the 8-0 start overall. Chop to third. Edwards charges and makes the play. 2 down.
Fantastic play. Taylor Edwards, and we got to see her show it off in Oklahoma City last year, the World Series. Such a tough position because of the short game. Great positioning. For me, it's the throw off the front foot. She has to get rid of it quick. An absolute bullet.
How about the athleticism to be able to make an accurate throw when she was leaning at a 45-degree angle? It's amazing.
As Kenny Gajewski talks to our home plate umpire today, Robbie Guest, check out the shift here in the infield with Mac Barbara coming to the plate. They will go with 3 defenders to the right of second base.
I mean, the whole entire left side, basically. I mean, if she wanted to bunt, if she wanted to poke it, you see it in baseball, but she is a hitter.
Fouls the first offering away. Mac Barbara, the grad student from Long Beach. Last weekend had a grand slam, a 3-run home run. Drove in a couple more runs yesterday.
We talked about the offense. Smitty said all the numbers, but this is number 1. This is the hitter in this lineup that leads this team.
Just can do damage when all the speedsters get on in front of her.
And Malin gets ahead of her 0-2. high praise from Gajewski for Ruby Malin. They've had some really good arms here over the years, and he told us as good as we've had here when she is on her A game. Of course, last year they had Lexi Kilfoyle, the Alabama transfer, who was the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. Helped get them to the World Series. It's been 5 years in a row. Still searching for that first national championship.
Yeah.
The Aggies have 2 NCAA titles, one back in the AIAW days under Bob Brock. Both those championships coming in the 80s, so Tricia Ford doing a good job of getting them back into contention after a tremendous successful tenure under Joe Evans, the longtime coach in between. But the expectation for these two clubs is OKC.
Well, they're both gritty programs. You know, they work hard. They're blue collar. They talk about it. They're like, we're not always the hunted. We are hunting, and it's just the way it is.
I'm still just loving this defensive shift, and I'm in Mac Barbara's head right now because she understands, okay, they're going to probably try to come at me middle to end, because if they do go away, all down the line is open.
She's like, you're not going to fool me with that changeup, a little point. I see you, Ruby.
And this wasn't no to her, this was no to Ruby.
Not going to get me on that. Although she was leaning. If that pitch would have been a little bit up. Interesting.
Full count. Got her. Ruby wins the first showdown with Barbara. And the side is retired. 1-2-3 start.
Malin getting it done. This drop ball just falling off the table. Ruby Malin showing that she is strong in the circle against those big Aggie bats.
Texas A&M retired in order in the top half of the inning. Oklahoma State picking up the bats to face the second-team All-American Emily Kennedy, who gets the call and gets the ball today for the Aggies. The senior from the Woodlands in Texas. They call her Lefty. 19 innings of work with 19 strikeouts.
Kennedy, just a power pitcher, really can move the ball around, and she's got that great rise ball that she'll throw about 40% of the time. How about a curveball? She'll also throw a drop ball, screwball combination, a changeup. She can go to every part of the zone. She's got velocity, she's got command of pitches, and then a control of the strike zone. She is a complete pitcher. Lots of velocity. Look at that, up near 70 miles an hour, and it's that mix of speed that's really made her harder and harder to hit as her career has gone on.
Megan Delgadillo, the center fielder, will start things off for Oklahoma State. The senior out of Riverside, California, transferring in from Fullerton. Her teammates call her Cheese because she's always smiling. Say cheese, man.
Average with these teams and 500 hitters. It's just unreal.
It's early.
Well, they have managed the portal as well as anybody. Oklahoma State has. Often with their pitching staff, but certainly with their hitters as well. And Delgadillo, the latest. There is the starting lineup for the Cowgirls. Carly Godwin hitting 500 here with a couple of doubles, a couple of runs batted in. She was among the freshman top 10 list a year ago.
Yeah. A couple good young players on this Oklahoma State team, but as you mentioned, those transfers coming in. I think Kenny Gajewski's created a culture at Oklahoma State that is about, you know, falling in love with the game again, enjoying yourself on the softball field. It's easy to get in the rut of work, pressure, not enjoying and not being in love with the game or passionate about it. And Kenny kind of lets them have a little bit of that freedom to express themselves and not be stifled. And because of that, there have been a lot of athletes that have wanted to show up in Stillwater and just fall back in love with the game.
Gets her to chase the rise, one down. We are going to see some strikeouts today.
I love it. They have out pitches, and this is an out pitch with the rise ball at the top of the zone. She just gets Megan Cheese to go upstairs and climb out of the zone. So we're going to see two really good rise balls that are controlled today by these pitchers, elite with velocity and movement.
With the emergence of pitching staffs in recent years, and especially last season and into this year, the starting strikeout pitcher that goes and throws complete games may be drifting into the past, but these two starters today can do it.
That's what's crazy. It's rare to see one. We've got two. They're going head-to-head.
Can we get what we got in the Texas Tech game last night when Kennedy and Cavan went head-to-head for 9 innings?
Yeah, how about Cavan?
Texas winning it. Yeah.
Most strikeouts since Kat Osterman back in 2008 for a Texas pitcher. It's really impressive with the staffs they've had. But I think when you do have aces like Kennedy and Malin, you're going to see the staff. But that staff is going to be used to help keep those aces' arms fresh throughout the season. But the rest of that staff also then has to step up to help keep those programs in the top 10.
Expectation, right? Once 100%. You get into league play, a Kennedy can throw you Friday and Sunday, and then the rest of the group may have to come in for a save or certainly try and carry you on a Saturday.
Absolutely.
Rosie Davis so far in this tournament is hitting .600 with a couple of home runs. 3-2 pitch, and she'll draw the walk. That's a rare free pass. The Aggies pitching staff has a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Just the 6th walk in the 20th inning pitch for Kennedy. She definitely has that control of the zone.
So here is Carly Godwin, who we talked about in the starting lineup. Sophomore from North Carolina. Former prep player of the year in that state from Lake Waccamaw.
With a lot of power. Coach Gajewski before the game was saying when she starts to really turn it on, she can do some damage.
This is a good 3-4 combo with Godwin and then Michaela Wark. They've combined for 9 RBI thus far. In foul territory, on the move is Brazel, and won't get there in time. Frankie getting the start again out in right field. The injury early in the season to Amari Harper. And so Brazel and KK Dement, their second baseman, couple of rookies, getting early playing time and making the most of it.
Yeah, KK Dement, so good.
Chopped to short. And they will be able to turn the double play. Wooly Dement Perez taking care of business, scoreless through 1.
It might be pitchers getting it down to the circle, but the D behind them looking good here early. Coco Woolley to Dements, picking it out of the dirt. Maya Perez, and then Hospital.
And for the Aggies, they just need to keep it going. They have been scoring a lot of runs, so they need to put some runs up on the board against this strong Oklahoma State team. But they're going to have to do it when the Pokes are trying to pitch like Pokes, which means that they have had those dominating pitchers in the circle. You mentioned it, Beth Mowens last year with Lexi Kilfoyle, Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. If you look over the history, Sam Schau, who actually transferred from Texas A&M back in the day to Oklahoma State, kind of set that trend of starting to get some big-time pitchers in to Stillwater to lead this staff for the Cowgirls.
They got Carrie Eberle, who's handling their pitching staff now.
And actually, she came over from Virginia Tech, so she was actually the first one prior to Sam Schau. Here she is. There she is, Carrie Eberle.
Yeah, of course, Kelly Maxwell, too.
Yes.
who then left for Oklahoma. He was part of their national championship team.
That's one thing Stillwater's been known for, having some good pitchers. Sandy Fisher, Margaret Rebinar, original coach.
Well, they had a really good one back in the day.
What was her name, though?
Way back in the day.
I remember she hit 12 career home runs, I think. Our very own Michelle Smith pitched like a poke. 4, 5, and 6 coming up here for A&M. Ruby Malin, a couple of strikeouts, set them down in order in the top of the first.
Oh, nice pitch on the inner half. That drop ball. A lot of movement on it, well located. To me, this must be a little bit inside because that is right at the quads. Definitely up in the zone.
Full count.
I think what I've been most impressed with Ruby Malin so far, she's not afraid to go into the lefties. And we see a lot of right-handed pitchers that tend to stay arm side, which stays away to these left-handed batters. It takes a real precise but also gutsy pitcher to get in the kitchen for these left-handed batters. And Ruby Malin is not afraid to get in there.
Well, you just saw the improvement, too, from Maya Perez. Freshman year to sophomore year, hitting over 400 early in the season.
Perez
May have started with that huge home run in the Supers at Texas last year.
Get out of my head, Gino. That's where I was going.
Come on.
Oh man, that sent that it went to a game 3. I mean that
was a fun
the
series.
Hit. Amazing series.
Texas winning it in 3. Another 3-2 pitch coming. Lost her. First base runner for the Aggies. That'll bring up Olivia Johnson, a big pickup out of the transfer portal from Washington. A 300 hitter last year with the Huskies.
No one knows Ruby Malin better. Teammates last year.
Yeah, a lot of departures from UW in the offseason. And now these two back together again on opposite sides.
Well, you know, she's probably seen her in batting practice, but how many bullpens did they probably work together? Oof.
Man's got her here, 0-2. Try to get her to chase. Another beautiful day here at the Eddie Seymour Softball Complex. All the grounds crew here, all the people behind the scenes making this happen, looking so pretty.
This is the place to be in February.
Weather's been cooperating, knocking on wood. 2-2. She and Barbara, the two big additions through the portal. They added 9 freshmen after they suffered some significant losses. Rylan Wiggins, Trinity Cannon, Julia Cottrell, Jazz Hill, all longtime starters. Of course, Tricia Ford, she knows how to get a team to the World Series. She did it at Arizona State in a short period of time. They're now hoping to take Texas A&M there as well. Holds, full count.
And Ruby is wondering where that pitch is missed. That was also the same pitch she threw to Perez, didn't get the call, ended up walking Perez. Kenny Gajewski not happy with that. Look at this pitch. That is well located. That's a strike. That's another miss. I understand why Malin a little bit upset with that call.
Same side of the plate.
And instead, it's a back-to-back walk. As Johnson comes back from an 0-2 count. And it'll bring up the freshman, KK DeMent.
And I think that's also a test, though, for Ruby Malin. You know, you don't get that call, Smitty. You know it's going to happen. You could tell she was frustrated, not close on the next one. So just trying to be able to bounce back when umpire behind the plate isn't giving you the calls you want.
Yeah, and when Perez walked, I think Ruby thought she was struck out on about the 5th pitch of the at-bat, didn't get the call. So a little more frustrated on the Johnson missed call. But you're right. I mean, especially in tournaments like this, we were talking about it, it's early for everybody.
No. So now that Perez has been bumped over to second base, they'll bring a pinch runner on for her. She can re-enter. It's Kelsey Mathis. DeMent on the season, hitting .462 with runners on base. And a .333 RISP out of Selma, California. Roller to short, Bloodworth. Only play is to first as we send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, Ruby Malin in the circle today. She started pitching when she was just 12 years old. She grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and she told me earlier it's very cold, and I wanted to do stuff that was inside the gym during the winter. So all the kids in the rec league were pitching, so I started doing it, and one of my very first pitches kind of went so hard it flew out of the guy's hand that was catching me up into the ceiling. And she's like, he told my dad, I think she's going to throw really hard when she grows up. And that was true. She has really been rise and drop, but she told me she's very proud that she's added a changeup this season. She said it's been working really well so far, and that's hard to add. I know, Michelle, you know how hard that is to add a changeup. She was insistent that that would help her here at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, absolutely, Holly. That change of speed is so important. Today's game, the analytics, just knowing what everyone throws. You're not going to fool people throwing 70 miles an hour anymore. So to all those young pitchers out there, it doesn't really matter if you throw 60 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour. It's the change of speed that's so important, as well as command of pitches.
So 2 in scoring position here with 1 out for Frankie Rosel. Another freshman in the starting lineup. Out of Danbury, Texas. 526 on the season with a couple of runs batted in. Boy, and Ruby is really questioning.
Well, I don't know where that
right now.
Kenny Gajewski too. I don't know where that's missing. And both these pitchers, they know how to command the zone. Same thing with Emily Kennedy.
Holly?
After that pitching conference, she saw Ruby Malin and her catcher have a conversation with the home plate umpire. I thought she was trying to seek information like, where am I missing? But right now, 3 balls, she's just not making those corrections, and he's not giving it to her.
Well, he's definitely not giving it to her. And I think what she's going to say is, okay, I threw 2 pitches prior. I threw that ball right there, and it was a ball, and now it's a strike. And that's the biggest issue for a pitcher, is not knowing where they can or can't go. Consistency to find the strike. Where do I have to throw in the zone to get it called a strike?
Rosel, and that's going to get past Warsop, but all the way to the fence, and 2 runs will score.
about the freshman. We talked about this coming in. I mean, A&M, it's been the offense, but to me, to have so many hitters that can get it done, these Froshy that are at the bottom of the lineup, Frankie Brazel, they understand they're getting into these hitters' counts because, hey, she's got to bring it back over the plate. Beautiful job going opposite field to score 2 for the Aggies.
Boy, and the outfielder there, Worship, was way in shallow, and that just blew right by.
Yeah. Well, it's that conundrum of playing shallow enough to be able to throw someone out at home on a tag or a ground ball.
Third double of the season for Frankie. And it's 2-0 Aggies. Both runs scoring after they walked to get on base. Here's Allie Enright. That is now 20 runs in 14 innings here in Clearwater for Texas A&M.
And that's the pitch that Ruby is going to need to try to locate a little bit more through the zone, is that rise ball. A&M doing a good job trying to take that away from her.
3-1. As Malin is still trying to figure out what that strike zone is. And right back up the middle. Brazel racing for home, and she'll score. 3-0 Aggies. As the bottom of the order drives in runs.
It's been these shorter, smaller swings. I mean, we saw big swings up at the top of the lineup, and now we get down to the bottom. First with Frankie on the left side, and you see just a smooth short to the ball for Allie Enright. Just trying to hit the ball on the line. You know, when you're going up against a tough pitcher, you don't need a big swing. Where A&M's making the adjustments.
Boy, they have adapted quickly after a pair of strikeouts in the first inning. None here in the second. 3 runs on the board, a couple of free passes, and still just the 1 out. And here's their 9-hitter, Kramer Echte.
And they're laying off the drop. That's the pitch not getting called. And so I think the smart conversation for A&M, they're getting back to the dugout saying, that's the pitch that got us. Let's make her throw it for a strike, make it be up in the zone. Otherwise, take.
Well, and if you know the umpire is tight, anything that is looking like it's on the edges, let it go.
Yeah.
Wait for the pitch to have to be piped.
Yeah, both the strikeouts in that first inning were with the drop ball. And already some bullpen activity. Katie Coots, the sophomore from Virginia, who picked up a win yesterday against Kentucky. Another one of their 500 hitters in the lineup, and Ford Lakes are down in the 9 spot as a second leadoff. Pitch count already approaching 50. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3, 2 down, and back to the top of the order.
Oh, and that's the rise ball, so she comes back upstairs to Echte after working a little bit on the lower outside corner. She gets this rise ball. It's got a little up and a little out, working that arm side of the plate, gets Echte to swing through it.
Big innings have been the story for the Aggies here in Clearwater. They had a 6-run inning against Wichita State. They had a 3-run and a 4-run inning against UCF in a run rule shortened win. And now a 3 spot here in the top of the second. Woolley struck out on that drop ball her first time up.
This is where Ruby Malin, I think, just does so well against the lefties when she can come inside. That's how she got Coco Woolley out. It's a beautiful located pitch. Drop ball on the inside part of the plate. And most slappers, it's difficult because they're trying to go inside out. So if you can get in to their end, they can't do what they want to do.
Yeah, because they're trying to hit it to that left side. It's hard to hit that pitch riding in on them to the left side.
Two pitch. Woolley pulls it down to first. Godwin's there. Side retired, but 3 runs up. Rosalind Enright driving them in.
How about Texas A&M getting on the board? The freshman, Frankie Frazel, going oppo. And then a couple more runs on the board. A 3-run spot for the Aggies.
Well, it can beat you a lot of different ways. That's going to make this A&M team very challenging to face.
Yeah, really potent offense. They've already scored 21 runs here in their 2.5 games. After their best SEC finish ever, 3rd place a year ago. And speaking to the strength of the SEC, in the preseason they were ranked number 5 in the SEC preseason poll. That's what they're ranked nationally right now.
Yeah.
Here's Michaela Warwick for Oklahoma State, the preseason favorites in the Big 12. 4, 5, and 6. They were retired in the first inning, courtesy of a double play. And a strike from Emily Kennedy. Not resting on her laurels. Last year, she was 3rd in the country in shutouts and complete games. And Tricia Ford was telling us how highly motivated she is. She wants to be a part of a World Series team. She wants to win a national championship. Chasing that dream this year.
She stayed over the summer. I mean, really concentrated on all aspects, you know, whether it was diet, whether it was working on all the analytics to understand her body and the different mechanics that she can do, get stronger, faster.
And how about the first All-American since Lori Stahl back in the 80s? So 41 years since they've had a dominant lefty in the circle for him. I mean, that's just incredible. She's got all the tools, the strength, the pitches.
Warwick continues to show good fight.
And that's the one thing that Kennedy is working harder on this year is that changeup, trying to mix speeds a little bit more. She's been more velocity, hammer the zone.
Seen the off speed a lot yet in this one, and I'm interested to see. I mean, they haven't needed to. I mean, she's been.
Yeah. Well, typically, that'll show up. If it's not your primary pitch, it shows up 2nd or 3rd time through the lineup.
Work golfs that one out to center and rights under it. 1 down. Hey, our big ABC women's college basketball doubleheader comes your way Sunday afternoon. 1 o'clock is tip for South Carolina and UConn. That'll be rocking down in Columbia. And then a top 5 showdown, LSU and Texas. A couple of teams also fighting with the Gamecocks for the SEC regular season crown. Sunday, ABC double dip. We'll start with College Game Day. And there's a look at Malin getting some work in between innings here. under the watchful eye of Eberly, the pitching coach.
Well, you could tell a couple times during that inning she was kind of pounding on her hip a little bit, like, I need to move my hip, get a little more open on that rise ball to get underneath of it.
Ground ball to second. Dement is there, and Edwards is retired, 2 down. After a couple of walks in the top half of the inning, that's something that you've done in the past, Smitty. I got to get something cooking out in that bullpen before I head back out there.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a little bit of a physical change to open up that slot for your arm to come through. And when you're throwing the ball up near 70 miles an hour, just even a half a degree that your hips are off will create that pitch sliding, or you're being a little bit too early on it. So it's out of the zone. It's all those slight mechanical adjustments you have to be able to make in game, and you learn that as you mature as a pitcher.
Here's Amanda Hassler, the NC State transferred catcher.
Coach said that he wants her back in the lineup and give her more opportunities to swing away. Moved her into the outfield, into right field. Trying to get her going.
Yep, she and Schneidmiller have been splitting some duties behind the plate. Schneidmiller there today.
Started the season batting third. I think, Gajewski feels like she's going to be one of the top hitters coming over from NC State, but she has that kind of steep swing, meaning she comes underneath the softball. You see a lot more swings try to lift the ball. You got to adjust.
She was a 300 hitter with power at NC State, and a strikeout victim there, number 2 for Emily Kennedy.
And big lefty just showing how to get it done. Look at the setup pitch where she's going to work that rise ball on the upper half, induce the swing, and then she's going to come right back to that spot, a little more out than up. Big strikeout for Kennedy.
And to the top of the third we go. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Mac Barbara is on deck here to face Ruby Malin. Kennedy Powell grounded out her first time up.
Yeah, I'm all here for the matchups. I mean, Ruby Malin versus Mac Barbara last time did not disappoint. Ruby Malin got the first one, but Mac Barbara on deck right now. She's just been preparing this entire time for her second at bat.
Oh, off the ricochet, and Powell's going to be aboard. So a base runner now for Barbara coming up.
One of the things Mac Barbara, not just a great hitter, but it's her scouting and understanding. So last at bat, what she does is remembers everything she saw. So off speed, a little shake to Ruby Malin. No, no, no. Ruby Malin gets her on a pitch down and away. So what does Mac Barbara do? She goes back and immediately journals, immediately writes down what she learned. Amanda Scarborough was able to look at that. Got some photos of her past at-bats. And guys, she'll write down not just what every pitch she saw, but the tips that she wants for her next at-bat.
Well, I was actually able to find out what she wrote in that plan after her first at bat, and she wanted to take better pitches, and she's made an adjustment to her hitting plan. Now that she sees what Malin's doing, what the strike zone is, there has been an adjustment to the plan, and she writes it all down. Tricia Ford called her a professional hitter, and that is trickling down to the rest of the team.
There's a hard hit ball, but right at Davis for 1, and they'll turn 2.
And that's actually Talon Edwards, who is over from third base up the middle. Take a look at this shift, and this is exactly what they wanted Barbara to do, is to hit that to the right side. So take a look right here. This is Talon Edwards. She goes from here over, third base over. She's up the middle. This ball's peppered right at her. Really good job of putting that down. Turns the double play. So Oklahoma State, really good defensively positioning to be able to turn that double.
Erases the other base runner, 2 down. And here's Maya Perez, their second double play of the season. Lofted out to left, and drifting back is the new left fielder, Rachel Hadhoot. And she just put the journal away after hitting into it. Just a DP in the book for that one. Into the champ finals. But it is the most appearances without a title. Oklahoma State, Nebraska, and Tennessee on that list. Kenny Gajewski emotional in his preseason press conference, talking about the disappointment of last year's finish. They appeared to have the momentum. They had all the tools in place, and they got to Oklahoma City and fell flat. 2 and barbecue without scoring a run. And they've tried to move on from that with a new cast of characters and a tough start to the season. A strikeout for Kennedy. Here's Kenny.
Last year hurt. We just didn't play our best at the end. And Lexi was so freaking good. The last steps are the hardest, and they hurt the most.
You know, Kenny Gajewski said people sometimes question how emotional he gets, but he is someone who wears that heart on his sleeve, and I personally really love this. He is one that really is honest with what he's feeling, how he's coaching.
Bloodworth drops down a bunt. Kennedy covers. Holly, 2 down.
And he told us that disappointing finish, it hurts so bad because he loves those kids so much and wants them to succeed. But he took a hard look at himself after last season. He said, I have to get better. So he has increased his attention to detail. He's made some changes to his staff. And he's like, I have to be better for those kids so he can get them over the hump. He's been there for just, a few years, 8 seasons. They've been to the World Series 5 times.
Yeah, and that big change to the staff was adding Greg Bergeron, who not only focuses on the defense, but he and Kenny have been buds their whole lives. And with Kenny wearing the emotion on his sleeve, Greg's the opposite. He's the detail guy. And they are hoping that addition, along with Eberle and Vanessa Shippey Fletcher, 2 former players, will be the right combo to make a run at the Natty. And with 2 outs, Warsop in the 9 spot gets hit by a pitch to pass the bat to the top. Second free pass today. First time through the lineup here for Oklahoma State. We'll be chatting with Kenny Gajewski and Holly Roche shortly. Still searching for their first hit of the ball game off of Kennedy. And with the slapper Delgadillo up, looks like the infield's pulled in a little bit. The outfield is pulled in.
Kennedy coming in on the hands of Delgadillo, too. We talked about it with Malin to the lefties of A&M, but definitely 2 pitchers have a really good ability.
And gloved and stepping on the base is Woolley. They get the force out. Side retired. There's the Berge effect. Bergeron handling the defense. And they execute well.
Look at the athleticism on this. Coco Woolley comes in to get it and darts to second base, almost taking out her teammate DeMint.
That was in that second inning when A&M got all 3 runs, but she made quick work of things in the last inning after those adjustments.
Well, when the pitchers struggle, I think it puts more pressure on the offense to try to score runs, so their swings get bigger. It can be a spiral at times, and early in the season, I think a lot of teams here are just trying to figure it out, and it's tough to figure it out when there's so many good teams.
Yeah, especially against a top 5 opponent.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Pokes can get the bats going. Just a couple of base runners, no hits so far through 3 innings against Emily Kennedy. So back to work here for the Aggie bats. Here's Olivia Johnson. Walked and scored in that 3rd inning. Inside to Johnson. It's 5, 6, and 7 here in the lineup facing Malin. 2-1 to Johnson. Now 3-1.
Malin actually looks like she's struggling a little bit more to the righties than to the lefties. She was throwing that pitch a little bit better on the outer half of the plate when she throws that drop ball into lefties away from righties.
One of the things, too, you know, that coaches are working on with their players early in the season, you know, for Oklahoma State, Kenny's talked a lot about looking like a champion. And for new players here, at both these schools, really, you've got to learn to become comfortable with that bullseye on your back, because when you're ranked in the top 10, everybody's coming for you. And Malin gets the strikeout, her first since the last inning. That's her fourth of the game.
Johnson is going to take this pitch in the upper part of the zone. That's actually a little bit of an elevated drop ball. Really good location on this. It stays true. It's not bleeding in to Johnson, but gets the swing through. And that's really what Malin needed, just to get back on the horse, confidence to throw on that arm side of the plate.
Swing and a miss there from KK Dement. For Oklahoma State, they split last weekend with Florida State, a loss here to UCLA. They beat Kentucky yesterday. And now back against another ranked opponent, their 5th of the season, their 4th top 10 foe. This is the toughest early season schedule they've ever had. Malin ahead, 1-2.
Well, and a lot of coaches will talk about it when you play tough schedules early on, you know, and you have a couple 0-4s or pitchers give up too many earned runs than what they think they should in their head. You go from being a head coach to a sports psychologist, and it can be tough, you know. Keeping that confidence up, belief in yourself, your teammates, to the person to your right or left. And Malin's the type of pitcher that I think she gets stronger. Coach alluded to it. She gets stronger as she goes because she actually relaxes. She doesn't try to overthrow the pitch, and that's a big part of power pitchers. They get a little bit more relaxed because they get slightly tired, and so then they get whippier instead of more muscular, trying to push the ball or power through the ball.
Well, and learning to deal with failure, right? We talk about it all the time. It's a game of failure more often than not. You know, 20 years ago, we used to do it in private, and when you were younger. Now everything is in public. Everything's on social media. It's a lot more challenging to figure that mental aspect of it out. And to maintain that high level of confidence.
KK Dement in the box right now, super closed off, trying to protect away. And right now, Malin adjusting to that, coming inside, but you'll see KK Dement, when she gets in the batter's box, her right foot is way further angled than her left foot, so her front foot is basically pointed at the second baseman. Really closing off, just makes it tough to be able to hit an inside pitch, but also allows you to get to that middle away pitch.
And Malin sees that and just hammers away at the inside.
Yeah, and her last at bat, she saw all away, so she tried to adjust that. And now, this is what I love about the battery, is they're coming right back, coming inside.
And you notice all of her weight, as you mentioned, is on that backside. The front foot is almost hovering.
Hanging, yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia Johnson was doing the same thing.
Trying to keep all that weight on the backside.
Dement fouls that one off.
Heck of a bat for the freshman,
Yes.
though. 10th pitch of the bat. She's fouled off 4.
She's been outstanding in this early season, hitting over 500 for the Aggies. It's just very complete, speedy, great play at second base.
5 foul balls in the at-bat, and the count goes to 3-2.
Malin trying to slip in the changeup.
Full count. Missed it up and out. One out base runner, third walk. Hey, tonight, men's college basketball coming your way on ESPN. I believe it's the first time in the SEC that #1 plays #2 in Alabama. It's the Tide, it's Auburn, followed by Carolina Q's and Kentucky, Texas. All coming your way on ESPN. That first matchup, our Sonic Blockbuster. Still to come here later today on ESPNU, 4 o'clock. It's #4 UCLA and #12 Alabama. Rest of our lineup today can be found on ESPN Plus. Bruins cruising along. They're still undefeated. Their #1 recruit, Addison Fisher, picked up a win yesterday. They're 2-0 in this tournament. Alabama needs a bounce back. They have been upset twice by unranked opponents here. A rough day yesterday for the Tide. And a shift here with 3 infielders on the left side and nobody out in right field.
Take a look
for Razzle.
All that infield and left field, excuse me, right field. It's a long way to the corner if that ball gets there.
Well, her double was hit exactly to left center, which is where Delgadillo is playing. She is planted in left center, but yeah, in your head right now as a lefty, you also know as Ruby Malin, the pitcher, like you don't want to miss inside because that's a triple to a home run with Razzle's speed.
Can't give her anything to pull here.
Yeah. At least not in the air.
1-1. Catches the outside corner. 1-2.
With these freshmen, when you're playing a shift like this is probably stuff that you've learned through travel ball, playing against each other.
But if I'm Razzle, it's like you got to know that most likely going to go all the way.
Off of the pitcher's glove and out into center field for a base hit.
I love this. I love the 2 freshmen back-to-back. KK DeMen, 11 pitch at bat to get the walk, and then Frankie Razzle right now really looking like no room, nowhere to go, middle away, and she finds the spot. And this is just understanding. Poke it through up the middle. There's like 6 women over there, and she was able to find the spot right up the middle. Beautiful job. Great at bat.
Beats the shift. She's 2 for 2. And she pushes her freshman teammate Dement into scoring position here for Allie Enright, who drove in a run with a single in that 3-run second inning. Defense goes back to normal. So 2 different shifts for the Oklahoma State defense today.
I dig it. I dig the risk, the understanding. We have so much analytics in the game now. You know the percentages, where these hitters are going. I'm surprised with the freshmen because you don't have a ton of data yet to pull your right fielder.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's all travel
brave.
ball. That's knowing athletes as you're recruiting them. Probably, a lot of these clubs recruit the same athletes, and so they're watching them during the summer. But you're right, it's a very small pool right now of maybe 20 at-bats in this season.
And trusting your pitcher. Ruby misses inside there.
Yeah, correct, yeah. I think Ruby missed a little bit high on that pitch, and obviously Frankie did a good job of driving it, but it's the risk, as you mentioned, being able to,
I dig it,
trust the spot of the pitcher, the ability to hit the corner correctly.
Enright to third. Edwards steps on the bag over to first. Double play, their second one of the day to end the threat.
Talon Edwards, an All-American, really knows how to anchor that third base position, picking it up, stepping on the bag across the field to Godwin. Double play, and Malin's loving it.
Comes your way from Evo Shield, and later today on ESPNU, UCLA and Alabama. 3-0 here, Texas A&M in front of Oklahoma State. And the Pokes have just picked up their first hit of the ball game off of Emily Kennedy. A little flare off the bat of Rosie Davis.
Aggressive first pitch swinging. That's what you got to do. Kennedy has been dominant. Rosie Davis, I mean, you'll take it. A little chip shot out to right field. And get it.
Sometimes those power pitchers, you know they're going to hammer the zone early. Yep. Like you said, Jess, sometimes you've got to go get that first pitch.
That ends the no-hit bid. Another first pitch swinging. Back to deep left center, and it's misplayed by Enright, who lost it, and it lands safely at her feet, and it is a double for Carly Godwin. Back-to-back hits on first pitches.
Yeah, Godwin, you could tell the plan coming in. Hey, we got to jump on her. She likes to get ahead. This is the best pitch Godwin has actually seen. That was middle away, but Enright, she thought the fence was coming, and it wasn't. That's where the warning track. That's why you use the warning track. You feel sand, now you know it's coming. I say sand here because that's what they use in the warning track.
Off of America's Best Beaches. So the first threat of the ball game for Oklahoma State, 2 in scoring position for their number 4 hitter, Michaela Wark. Flew out to center her first time up. This is what she did on Friday against Kentucky. Deep center field and gone. Has that kind of power. Couple for her on the season.
It's almost off her shoe.
I was going to say, you see where the pitch was located. I mean, that's her bat path, and that's exactly where you look at A&M, you look at Trisha in the dugout, Trisha Ford, and that's a location you have to stay away. You cannot pitch her down in the zone.
Oof. Goes off of Johnson.
First threat against Kennedy today. Single for Davis, the double for Godwin. Wark lifts that one out to right center. Looks like it'll be deep enough to get a run in. And Oklahoma State is on the board. Sac fly for Michaela. Godwin had to stay at second.
That was good 2-strike hitting. I mean, she just threw the bat out there. She knew, hey, I don't want to get a strikeout here. 2 strikes, just put the ball in play. Got the first run for the Pokes.
Here's Talon Edwards. Boy, through the first 3 innings, they had 2 batters that swung at a first pitch. Now they've already had 3 this inning. And good results with that strategy.
Well, a pitcher like Kennedy is going to play with you the more she gets ahead. And
Edwards off the end of her bat. Nice catch by Powell, and diving back into second safely is Godwin. 2 down.
And that's the off-speed pitch, Jess, we were talking about it. How much will Kennedy need to use that? She uses this against Edwards, and you can tell Edwards is fooled by it way out in front of this. You can see right off the end of the bat, creates this little looper. Good job by Powell over there at third base to catch that before it hits the ground.
Yeah, because that thing was going to spin.
100%.
Another first pitch swing, and Hassler down the line and right. And that will drive in another run. Godwin comes around to score, unchallenged at the plate. And where was the throw there from right field?
I don't know if it was a miscommunication, but this ball, a little bit of a jam job going the opposite way. Hassler is going to get that down, but Frazzle needs to come up throwing on this. You can see Kenny Gajewski all the way. Going to send Godwin, but that ball coming in, it looks like Perez cut it. I think Trisha Ford will be talking to her defense a little bit more about that, making sure they have a cleaner relay to home.
That was Hatt who came in to hit there, so Rachel drives in the run. And now here's Audrey Schneidmiller. 2-run inning for Oklahoma State. 2 outs, still working. That was a timing violation, so a ball for the batter, 1-2. Three hits in the inning, all coming on first pitches. Talk with Tricia Ford. Holly Rowe will have an interview with her coming up, as this game has tightened up. Good take from Schneidmiller, full count.
Well, you know, if you talk to both these coaches, this is what they want. They want the pressure cooker. You know, they want the games where it's a little back and forth, close. Butterflies in the belly.
Well, just second time through the order, Oak State's a different team. Yeah. I mean, they were dominated first time through, and literally, you come back up to the top, Rosie Davis and Godwin, first pitch swinging, that was part of the plan. The best pitches Kennedy has shown have been early in the count.
As a result, the Aggies have had a couple of pitchers up in the pen. Good fight from Schneidmiller.
And this is also why we're seeing staffs so much more. I mean, the adjustments that hitters can now make second time, third time through the order, it's so tough for a pitcher to actually get the swing and miss.
It's Emily Levitt out there. And she draws the walk. 2 on for Megan Bloodworth. Swinging early and making contact and driving in a couple of runs. And we got a pinch hitter, looks like, coming on for Bloodworth here. Tara Vanderwater, freshman out of Iowa, top 10 recruit. Big situation for the youngster to try and make something happen. Just her 3rd AB of the season. With a couple on board here, chance to tie it or take the lead. Kennedy in front, 0-2. Doesn't chase at 69 miles an hour, still bringing it.
It's a competitive pitch. That's hard to lay off of. Pitch has a little out, little up from Kennedy. Screwball.
Watches another.
Tries to pull that in just a little bit. How about strike 3? Yeah, it's a good pitch.
The youngster sends one right over at Tricia Ford. Don't call that one again.
Vanderwater's waiting as long as possible. Look how late she is. I mean, almost caught.
That was almost past the plate.
Yep.
Ford had to duck for cover in the dugout. And there's the swing and miss for Kennedy. A couple left on, but a couple reach home, and it's a 1-run game.
Pressure situation for Emily Kennedy, and she's going to go back on the inner half after a couple screwballs on the outer half. Big strikeout with a couple runners on base.
Coming up, and the freshman Vrazel 2 for 2 with a 2-run double. Emily Kennedy, 4 innings of work with 4 strikeouts. All 3 of their runs coming in the second, and now the Oklahoma State response in the bottom of the 4th. Ruby Malin back out there to go to work. And it's Kramer Eshtay, and then the top of the order, we'll see her for a third time, perhaps. Our All-American showdown of pitchers in the circle today. Ruby Malin, Emily Kennedy. A third-teamer and a second-teamer a year ago. Eshte struck out on a rise ball back in the second. Got another ranked showdown coming up later today, 4 o'clock, ESPNU, UCLA and Alabama. A couple more ranked showdowns tomorrow for you, building towards our Sunday night showcase, a doubleheader this year. Oklahoma State, Alabama, and Florida State, UCF. Could be fun times around the state of Florida this year. How about the start for the Gators? Yeah. My goodness. And Taylor Shoemaker, the freshman, 8 home runs, 23 ribbies already.
She's going to be fun to watch. 6-foot-tall outfielder, tons of power.
I know Skylar Wallace graduates, and it's like,
I know,
don't
like,
skip a beat.
No.
Getting this power freshman.
Yeah, Tim Walton and company. You know, great year last year with a very young team.
Got back to the World Series. Of course, Florida State has hit 8 home runs here in 2 games.
Well, and how about Texas, right? So you've got Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Yeah, I mean, state is producing.
With the SEC adding Texas and Oklahoma, how many SEC teams might get to the World Series? Can they win a championship for the first time in a decade since Florida went back-to-back? And a full count to Kramer Eshte out of Brenham, Texas. 2 years at Louisiana. Second season here. She was their top hitter last year in league play. Her on-base percentage nearly 700, and she walks here, Holly Rowe.
Well, if you're wondering about her name, Kramer is a very unique name for a girl, but I talked to her dad, Roan, before the game, and of course, Beth, I knew you'd appreciate this. She is named after Eddie Van Halen's guitar, Kramer. She got started playing softball because of her older sister, McGee, who is also here, and McGee is named after the great Janis Joplin song, Me and Bobby McGee. So Dad Roan is a big rock and roll guy. He was actually a really good men's fast pitch player himself. He played against Mike White back in the day, and he got his 2 daughters really loving it. So good job, Dad. Fast pitch and rock and roll. Now the girls are carrying on your tradition.
Okay. Panama.
Wow.
Oh. Don't get me into Van Halen.
We're and Van Halen. I think we'll be singing in the break.
Take a break here with a pitching change coming up, and that'll do it for Ruby Malin. 3-2 ball game, Aggies and Oklahoma State, and Eddie Van Halen references. It's a great Saturday morning in Clearwater.
A couple of free passes, but Malin definitely the ace of the staff.
First relief appearance for Katie, and she'll face the top of the order. Here's Coco Woolley. Just 1 time on base so far for the top 3. There's Kennedy Powell in the background, and then Mac Barbara after that.
Coots is very curve heavy. Pitch to contact, uses that defense, rolls a lot of ground balls.
Like that one right there, that's a fair ball inside the base for Woolley, and motoring around to third is Eshte. Runners on the corners with nobody out, and here comes the heart of the order.
A little bit surprised here that Oklahoma State defense was pulled so far in. And granted, a lot of speed, but this one's just going to get by Godwin over there at first base. If she's back a little bit, that's a routine ground out. And I think in that situation, you really almost have to have Godwin back. Right side back, left side in.
Well, there's just nowhere to hide up and down this lineup. 8 of the 9 in the lineup today have driven in a run in this tournament. Runner goes from first. No throw down, so 2 in scoring position for Powell.
It's going to be interesting, too. Mac Barbara on deck, the big hitter, really having to go after Kennedy Powell right now.
Infield pop-up, and that's trouble, and sliding to make the catch is Delgadillo on the dirt because the infield was pulled so far in they couldn't get back there.
Well, and Megan Bloodworth should have caught this, but she lost in the sun. Watch the shortstop. She's losing it. She puts her hand up and yells to Delgadillo, hey, I can't get this. You talk about a great catch. She came in all the way to slide into the infield to make this grab. That looked like it was going to drop in for a base hit.
So are they going to shift here with runners on second and third? They had been sending the third baseman Edwards to the right side of the infield. It looks like she's going to stay home for Mac Barbara.
Ooh, will she even see a strike? I mean,
Yeah, first base open.
Yeah, I'm putting her on first. Or at least try to make her chase, but if
Yeah,
you
then
give her a pitch to hit right now.
well, first base is open, then you almost make it easier for your defense to go home.
Oh, she did get a pitch to swing at. Sends that deep to center field. Back at the wall, and the catch is made by Delgadillo. But she drives in a run with a sac fly with first base open.
I'm surprised they gave her this pitch, and I don't know if it was a mislocation. It was a changeup, and they got lucky, you guys. Mac Barbara just missed this thing. Just got underneath it. She was a little bit out in front of it. Otherwise, this thing clears the fence. You see her just off the end of the bat. She's telling this ball to go. Go, go. Got to the wall, though.
Well, even though she's 0 for 6 so far in the tournament, she's driven in 3 runs. And the sac fly there to score Este. And it starts with a walk to the number 9 hitter. Still a runner out there available for Maya Perez with Woolley at third. Walked and scored in the third, a fly out to left field in her second AB today. How about 6 for 10 this season with a runner in scoring position? Has driven in 14.
This Aggie team is all about attack mode.
Ground ball to Edwards. She'll take care of it, so a runner stranded, but another runner in. 4-2. Aggies. About a day like today at the beach or at the ball yard. We got a good one. Top 10 showdown. A&M leading Oklahoma State 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Our Evo Shield game track looking like that with Emily Kennedy back out there in the circle. And she gets Warsop to pop up 1 down to the top of the order. 3 of the 4 runs on the board for Texas A&M got on base with walks, including that run in the top half of this inning. Third time around now for Megan Delgadillo. A strikeout, a ground out, goes the opposite way. And quickly there are 2 down. Hey, don't forget today on ABC and ESPN Plus, it's the 4 Nations face-off. We got Finland and Sweden at 1 o'clock, then the USA and Canada at 8 Eastern, coming your way from Montreal. Two down for Rosie Davis, singled and scored in the last inning. Kennedy with first pitch strikes to 14 of the 20 they have faced. That's why in that last inning, Oklahoma State found success swinging at the first pitch.
Swing at the first pitch from the righties. I mean, obviously you're going to get left on left, but she has dominated the left-handed bats, really silenced them from this Oak State lineup. So the righties have to take advantage.
Quick work for Kennedy. 1, 2, 3 inning. 5 complete. And Texas A&M up a couple.
Emily Kennedy showing why she is an All-American. Just great late sharp movement. Picking up another strikeout. Aggies picking up the bats again. She was in the circle. What was that back in?
Yeah.
early 2000s, 2007, 8.
We're going to see those two pitchers match up quite a bit. They already did twice at the World Series last year. Nyjah was pitching for Stanford. Kavan won both of those games. So I feel like Nyjah at this point is like, really? Taking Kavan again?
Yeah, she's been stout, just a sophomore. That's a Texas team that opens up the year ranked #1 for the first time, and one of the heavy favorites to win a first national championship.
Olivia Johnson, watch this unique stance. She's going to have all her weight on her back foot, literally lifts her front foot off the ground, and then bunts.
Drops down a bunt, and beats it out.
Big girl getting down the line. I love it. I mean, this is a big bat in this lineup. And the defense respects that. Getting a little sneaky. Laying down the drag bunt when they're playing that deep on you. And honestly, the location, having to force Coots to come off the mound to be able to throw her out. Olivia Johnson, not a lot of speed, but the perfect location. Gets down, barely beats it out.
That's her first bunt hit.
Yeah.
And a smile on her face.
Gosh, that was sneaky.
So the lead off aboard here in the 6th, facing Coots. Here's KK Dement. Fourth inning already today. They've had the lead off aboard. Dement walked in the 4th with a terrific 11-pitch at bat.
KK showing all the talent she's got. 500 batting average here in Clearwater.
Of Dement.
I wasn't expecting that. It's a changeup, not getting the corner. So she's like, all right, if I can't fool you with movement through the zone, I'm going to fool you with when the ball shows up. And Dement just frozen on this pitch from Coots. Both those pitchers, Kennedy as well, starting to use the off speed a little bit more to try to keep the hitters off balance.
One down, here's Vrazel. Frankie's 2 for 2. Couple of RBI. They shifted on her last time. They don't do it here. Actually brought the right fielder in and played in the infield the last time she was up. She hit a single right back up the middle. Scored in that 3-run second inning. They added another in the 5th.
These two freshmen for Trisha Ford in the 6 and 7 holes, I mean, their numbers are gaudy.
Yeah.
You can tell teams don't know how to pitch them. Think about all the offense that Texas A&M has, and then you plug in these two freshmen with 500-plus batting averages. It puts a lot of runs up on the board.
I think she's been the most impressed with just how they compete, you know, a lot of times as freshmen. And, you know, they weren't even supposed to start, right? It was, you know, kind of injuries, and all of a sudden, all right, you're thrown to the fire. And they just battle.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of freshmen come in, and it's, you know, they're just shell-shocked.
Yes.
Well, Dement replacing Rylan Wiggins, their all-SEC defensive teamer at second base last year, and now she draws a walk, so 2 aboard for Allie Enright. We'll remind you that Pickleball Slam 3 is coming up Sunday in Las Vegas. Agassi Graf against Roddick and Bouchard, 4 Eastern on ESPN. Enright drove in a run in the second, then hit into a double play in the fourth. Fifth walk of the day, by the way. 3 of the previous 4 have all scored.
This is an Aggie team that knows the strike zone. They attack pitches that are in it, and they're very good at watching pitches on the fringe. They've worked a lot of deep counts.
2 for 6 today with a runner in scoring position. Enright in the 8th spot in the order. Bottom 3 in this lineup have already been on base 5 times today. And were a part of both innings in which they scored. Different players have reached base. And getting on base early in innings.
Jeff Harger, the hitting coach for the Aggies. You can tell he's got all those athletes go until no. Every one of them on every pitch, you can see they're looking to attack until they hold up if the pitch isn't in the zone.
Off speed and a punch out. Second strikeout of the inning, looking 2 down.
And the second strikeout of the inning with the off-speed pitch. Flip changeup. Schneidmiller's going to hold that pitch.
And in the 9th spot, Kramer Echte, a strikeout and a walk today with a run scored. One time through the lineup now for Katie Coots, on in relief after Ruby Malin through the first 4 innings. One and one. Opposite way, and that'll fall in front of the defender. Hat hoot, and here comes Johnson in to score. RBI single for Echte, and it's 5-2.
Seen a nice job of these A&M batters, bottom of the lineup. And this has been a huge part of their offense we've seen early on in the season, and just kind of taking the pitches until they get something more over the plate. Beautiful job. Kramer Echte going opposite field, just poking it in. This is what we've seen. Fine grass. Olivia Johnson, after the bunt single, by the way, comes around to score.
7, 8, 9 hitters have driven in 4 of their 5 today. Woolley pops it up. Side retired. But another one on the board. 3-run lead for A&M.
Changeup shows up. She's just been very strong. 2 free passes in the game, 1 hit batter. She's done a good job of really controlling the zone and keeping Oklahoma State off balance.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts, 3 hits into the bottom of this 6th. The fly ball out to center field, and Enright is there. 1 down. Holly?
Well,
Tricia Ford's done an incredible job coaching Emily Kennedy in 2023. She really challenged her. She was relying on just a curve ball, and she said, you can't throw it anymore. We're taking away the curve. You can only do the drop or the rise. And after that season, she added the drop, she added the rise, and as you see today, she still has the killer curve. That improvement helped her become a second-team All-American, first-team All-SEC, school record in innings pitched, strikeouts, all the things. And I just love that coaching style of like, no, you can't throw your best pitch until you've added to the variety.
Yeah, it led to 24 wins last year for Emily.
Yeah, and Holly, this year she's adding the changeup, which really expands everything else that she can throw as well. So a really good rise ball, drop ball combination. The natural curve is a lefty, but the changeup, I think that's going to be a game changer as you get later in the season.
Well, and through the order. I mean, that's what we're seeing. We've seen it a few times. I'd like to see it even more just because selfishly I want to see what it looks like. I mean, a lot of pitchers that throw velocity, it's hard to throw an off speed. There it is. Thank you, Emily. I just asked.
All right.
Through it. But you can see it's out of the back of the hand, and she does slow her arm down a little bit, so it does tell the hitters. So that's something she'll have to improve on. She's so good with all her pitches.
Cannot stand still in this game. Got to keep moving forward, keep improving. Full count here to Michaela Wark with one down.
Well, you have to have a different look. Every year you come back, you need to add something.
And Wark draws the walk. Fourth free pass. Got a men's college basketball game for you tonight. In fact, 3 of them, starting with that #1 versus #2 matchup. Auburn and Alabama, our Sonic blockbuster. Then to the ACC before we finish up back in SEC country. All coming your way on ESPN. Got a pinch runner now over at first base for Wark. And that's Macy Graff. Wark can re-enter. And here comes Talon Edwards. Grounded to second, popped up to third. Up and in at 67 miles an hour.
Changeup, as you mentioned, it's a flip change, comes out of the back of the hand. It's got a lot of liveliness to it as well. It's not just slow, it's got a little bit of bend, loop-de-doo to it.
She has mauled the left-handers today. They are 0-6 against Kennedy.
Left on left, especially with velocity. She does a good job of throwing to both sides of the plate.
Back-to-back walks.
Tight zone.
Yeah, that looked like a nice curve on the outer half, and I think even Edwards was like, am I going to first? Was that a strike?
You're not going to call it? I'll take first.
5th free pass of the game. 4 walks and a hit batter.
I mean, just like that, one swing away from tying this up. Rachel Hathoot drove in a run with a single in the 4th inning, and that's got Tricia Ford out to talk with Kennedy.
I think right now it's about adjustments, because you're adjusting, first of all, facing a lineup again, but also with the umpire, what calls are not being called. So then for Tricia, it's about, hey, I know we were talking about this curveball. I know we were talking about these certain pitches, but if he's not going to call it, let's go with this.
Rachel has one of their 3 hits today. All of those coming in that 2-run 4th inning. Opportunity knocking for the Pokes with 1 out. And Kennedy comes right in with his first pitch strike.
And that's what she can do very well with that curveball. She'll throw it into righties. A lot of, you mentioned it earlier, Jess, a lot of pitchers don't like to throw in or across their body.
Right back to Kennedy, and a double play. Their 2nd of the ball game, ending the threat.
How about Kennedy just doing a great job in the circle. Going to take this line drive back right at her. Knows immediately that she needs to go to second to turn the double play. How about the fourth double play of this game between the Pokes and the Aggies?
And who's hotter right now than those Florida Gators? 11-0, 100 runs already, 7-run rule wins, and Taylor Shoemaker making a case not only for Freshman of the Year, but Player of the Year. Looking like she's going to be leading the country in home runs and runs batted in through the first 2 weeks of the season.
That's what's going to be fun once conference starts, is all these players going against each other.
Yeah. SEC has 12 of the 25 teams in the rankings, 6 top 10. We've got 4th-ranked UCLA, the new member of the Big Ten Conference, coming up against Alabama this afternoon on ESPNU at 4 o'clock. That pitching staff's going to be tough to deal with.
See Caitlin Terry yesterday, Taylor Tinsley against Oklahoma State. And that was a great game.
Yeah. They add Addison Fisher and a lineup that returns the likes of Jordan Woolery and Megan Grant. And what was it? They have 4 freshman starters yesterday. Yeah.
That are the lefts. I mean, they're behind the plate, shortstop, third base.
Powell, high hopper, and she is aboard.
Use the ground. And this dirt is not known for getting hard, to be able to use the ground to get that kind of hop. That is a great job.
So that sets up Mac Barbara now with a runner at first. Her 3rd time up, had a sacrifice fly RBI in her last at-bat. Looking for her first hit of the tournament, even though she's been driving in runs. That eagle just swooped right across.
Holding like a rat.
Osprey.
Yeah, an osprey.
Yeah, it was probably a fish or a rat or something.
Having lunch. It is lunchtime here.
It's huge. Sorry.
Swooped across the shadow. Across home plate. I don't know if I would have gone descriptive into what was in its mouth, but had it in the talons.
Look how still and quiet Mac Barbara. You see so many stances, so many different styles, but Mac kind of looks the pitcher like right into her soul. She does, and she's so quiet. So a strong hitter, she understands all I need to do, get my front foot down, get my barrel to the ball, but look at the way that she just stares.
And green light at 3-0.
3-0. Yeah. Hey, when you're driving in, what, 8, an RBI in 8 of their 9 games. What an addition for Texas A&M. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Tries to go upstairs again, doesn't quite sneak her past the ball past her this time.
Wasn't as big of a swing. That 3-1 swing, Smitty.
She'd have hit that to Georgia.
Yeah. But she slowed it down with 2 strikes.
Another 3-2 pitch. Got her to swing up and out of the zone. Second time that Barbara has struck out, 1 down.
Well, I know what Barbara's thinking going back to the dugout as I just struck myself out on a pitch out of the zone. This is a rise ball. It's a really good job of throwing this right at the eyes of Barbara and says, hey, I'm going to put this in your cookie zone and see if I can get you to fish through it. Big strikeout for the sophomore.
So Coots gets her with the rise. Malin got her with the drop. Here's Maya Perez.
That's a tough call as a hitter when the top of the zone's getting called as a strike. Now you have to protect against that rise ball.
So she only was struck out once in their first 8 games, 2 times today. Oklahoma State pitchers got her. Runner goes, the hit and run was on, and it's bobbled at short. Bloodworth, I don't know if she saw her out of the corner of her eye, trying to turn 2. But everybody safe.
A little bit of a jam job, so it's got some English on it. You can just see it hops up, goes off of Bloodworth's upper arms. So a little bit of a bobble there. Knowing that she doesn't have the opportunity, you can just see there's a lot of English on that because it went off the handle. Fisted up a little bit, but Perez getting over first. Powell now in scoring position.
E6 in your scorecard, and here's Olivia Johnson, who laid down a bunt. She scored twice today. Speed missed, 3-0. Came back from a 3-0 count a moment ago and in for a strike here. That's our next game here on this Field 8, Texas A&M and Virginia. So we'll see the Aggies again against the Cavaliers, a pair of teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year. Full count.
Oklahoma State really happy with the way that Katie Coots has been developing.
Johnson golfs that one. And on the grass, the catch is made. Holly Rowe.
Well, if you think Katie Coots looks strong in the circle right now, you would be correct. She is actually a professional bodybuilder. She has competed in some bikini competitions, and she is absolutely locked into what she's doing, from the weight room to different lifts. She posts a lot of it on her Instagram account, and I follow her to get meal tips. Like, she posts on there what she eats, how many grams of protein. Let's just say I've got a lot of recipes for you ladies. Protein rich, how to get stronger, because if you look at the pictures, you'll know she is really crushing it in this category.
Well, Coach Gajewski, Holly, was saying that, you know, she prepares her own meals. So when the team goes out to eat, she'll bring her own food with her, making sure that her diet, because, you know, a lot of bodybuilding is about your diet. It's not just the weight room. Yeah. But she's been able to keep herself strong and enough energy. That's the other thing, making sure she's fueled enough to be able to pitch.
Well, pitcher strong, which, I mean, there's bodybuilder strong, which is usually 2 very different things.
Not cardiovascular, always strong. Exactly. And for pitching, you've got to be able to maintain that heart rate up at 160, 170, 80 beats a minute. Bring it back down. There's a lot that goes into it. 2 very different sports.
Working here against KK DeMent, the 1-1 pitch. Up and out of the zone. Trying to hold this score as is and give her team a chance in the bottom of the 7th. The bottom of the order is due up for Oklahoma State. A loss here would drop the Cowgirls under 500 early in the season. Texas A&M trying to get to 9-0 to start out the new year. Dement back up the middle, and Bloodworth will glove it and smack second base with it. Last chance coming up for the Cowgirls. It's the Aggies by 3. For Texas A&M, driving in for their 5. And it will be Kennedy against the bottom of the Oklahoma State order here to see if they can get something cranked up in the bottom of the 7th. Last chance. They are hitless so far against Kennedy today. There's Audrey Schneidmiller, a strikeout and a walk. Kennedy trying to go the distance and get her 5th win of the season already.
And that's something we don't say very often nowadays, go the distance. Kennedy, one of those athletes capable of it. You see her out distribution, 8 flyouts, 5 strikeouts, 5 groundouts, and that's because she uses that rise ball, drop ball combination effectively. Also very good run with her curve. A lot of jam jobs, a lot of getting that ball in on the handle.
2-1 pitch. Back up the middle, and Woolley is there. 1 down. Hey, how about our Sonic Blockbuster women's doubleheader for you on ABC Sunday? UConn in South Carolina, LSU in Texas. 4 teams all ranked in the top 10. That'll start with College Game Day from Columbia. Terrific women's hoops doubleheader on ABC. Pinch hitter here is Lexi McDonald. Coming in from the left side. Down to their final 2 outs. Alabama just went final, picked up their first win of the tournament. The Crimson Tide beating Ohio State. We've got Alabama and UCLA, 4 o'clock today on ESPNU. Our next nationally televised game. Lexi 0 for 4 on the season, so her 5th at-bat. Last hit for them was back in the 4th inning. They only have 3 on the day off of Kennedy.
Remembering correctly, almost all those were on the first pitch.
Yep, all 3.
Yeah.
All in the 4th inning. And that's when they got their 2 runs. They threatened in the 6th, couldn't get one across. And McDonald delivers her first hit of the season. And that inches the tying run into the on-deck circle. There's Tia Warsaw. Got hit by a pitch in the 3rd, flew out in the 5th. And then it's back to the top of the order. Fouls off the bunt.
Kennedy doing a good job at their split. 100 pitches, 63 of those for strikes, 37 for balls. So we always like that 2/3 strikes.
Tries to drop it down again, and that one will stay fair, and she's going to be safe. Deadened it in that batter's box, and now the tying run will come up.
Olivia Johnson was asking to hit the bat, but she then said, it was my bat. I think she thought it was going to either continue to go foul because she paused. I mean, this is right in front of her.
A lot of spin on it. You know, and that's hard. It's that fine line of reading. Is it going to go foul or not? The field's here a little bit soft. The boxes are dug up a little bit, so it does stay fair.
Megan Delgadillo, 0 for 3, is the tying run at the plate with 1 out. Oh, she shows bunt as well. The leadoff, top of the order, coming back around.
We have a left-handed pitcher and a first baseman that's not coming in. So this is all Kennedy Powell at third. So if you can get a bunt down to the right side of the field, it's a base hit.
Slaps that, gloved. What a play by Coco Woolley. Tags the base runner, Lexi McDonald, 2 outs.
Wow. This is all about positioning. Coco Woolley, a lot of experience last year as a shortstop, and she has presence of mind to know where this play is developing. Dives into that 5-6 hole, and then just knows that McDonald is going to be behind her, makes the tag. That's probably the only out she could get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a base hit.
Yeah.
It's a base hit left side from a slapper.
Yeah, because there's no way you're getting
Great athleticism. I mean, she literally...
incredible.
So here's Rosie Davis, who has 2 home runs on the season. Hit them both here in Clearwater. Singled and scored in the 4th. In for a strike, 1 and 2.
Davis pitch up in the zone and just drives it out of the yard. Had been lower in the lineup. Another one on the inner half, and she just cranks that out down the left field line.
Yesterday against UCLA and Kentucky. They're now down to their final strike. Emily Kennedy trying to get the complete game win. Missed it away. This fabulous drama here on Field 8. The last couple of days.
Pitching.
Davis golfs that one to center. Back that goes, and that is off the wall. Davis heading for second. 1 run is in. Throw to the plate is high, and sliding in safely is Delgadillo, and it's a 1-run game.
How about Rosie Davis? And we showed the home runs. Somebody you mentioned, she was in the bottom of the lineup, just kind of creeps her way back up into this spot, and it has been a clutch place for her to be in this 2-hole. Her second hit of the game. This one just missing a home run off the bottom of the wall to score 2 more and keep the Pokes alive here in the bottom of the 7th.
Oh, and how huge is that play by Woolley at short a moment ago? But now it's Oklahoma State with the tying run at second base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And a chance for Carly Godwin to tie it or walk it off. Carly had one of the hits off of Kennedy back in the 4th, singled and scored. First pitch swinging. All Big 12 bat a year ago as a freshman. With the All-American Kennedy in the circle. Godwin, first pitch swinging, back it goes, and it is gone! The walk-off win for Oklahoma State off of the All-American in the circle. A 4-run 7th inning, and Godwin ends it.
Kidding me right now? I mean, you talk about Oklahoma State. I mean, they have been silent outside of that 4th inning. Getting it done with 2 outs, 4 hits, and it's Godwin, the star her freshman year last year, helped carry this team offensively. comes in this bat. What do we talk about with Kennedy showing that changeup? And Godwin was all over. This is an off-speed pitch. Haven't seen a whole lot of them. Kind of comes into her barrel, and Godwin, I mean, she put that thing tattooed off the tree in left field.
What a finish in Clearwater. And the walk-off win for Oklahoma State. Off of the